Can someone explain to me? Yes, I know I look crazy right now. I've been crying in my car for like 30 minutes. But can someone explain to me why all men suck? I've been talking to a guy. We've been texting. It was great. He said, I'm 5 minutes away from picking you up. I got all dressed up for our date. And boom, I'm blocked. He stood me up. And I don't understand why men treat good women like shit. Like, I am an amazing woman. Huge heart. Very loyal. And men just play with my feelings. That's all they do. Just make it make sense. Make it make sense.
When I was in my teens, I had a dog named Milo. I got her from a friend who found her as a puppy on the street. She was a light brown mongrel who mainly was very playful and disobedient. I wasn't the kind of dog owner who was all lovey-dovey. I was more of a do kind of owner. Unfortunately, Milo grew up to be a friendly dog who was never aggressive. I wasn't home then, but my mother told me how she died by pulling herself back to the streets. I know this is a dog story, but based on the way I see some of these modern women separating, it's no different from the story with Milo. The psychology of modern women today perfectly parallels the story of Milo's, where they seem incapable of leaving the streets alone. If you go around the world in every country, there is a version of this quote in every different culture and language. This quote is so accurate that no man in the history of Homo sapiens has proven this quote wrong. Every man who has attempted to convert a street woman into a housewife has failed. Error and judgment have caused many men their generational wealth, and some unfortunate men their lives. The real question is, why do so many men love the women of the streets? Because as a mug, these women have brought many men down and even destroyed their character and wealth. If you look around, you'll see married men with decent wives at home. But on the flip side, you'll see that same husband with a side piece who lives in the streets on the down low. These women are known for how they act, how they dress, and carry themselves. You have to be honest and stop the cap. The majority of you free agents are attracted to street women. If you enjoy seeing modern women dress sexually in public, then you love street women. There's nothing wrong with that, bro. I do too, just don't commit or diss them. And you'll be fine. When I was relationship-minded, I made a bad decision by trying to talk to a street woman. She always wanted the attention of other men, and she wanted to ride multiple digging sticks. You have to accept that you can't change women or people in general. Instead, you must learn to understand them and devise the best possible ways to deal with them. When I became RP, I realized that as long as I didn't commit or take them seriously, they weren't as dangerous as I thought. I began to have good experiences with those types of women, to the point where I'm not even looking for a so-called good woman. I actually prefer street women because they make it easier for me to get what I want. Let me tell you what works for me. If you guys want to partake in pure Deb Bry in these streets, the first thing you should do is follow the 3 tenets of the free agent lifestyle cohabitation. No long-term relationships, and no marriage. If you cannot plant your feet firmly on the first step, then it makes no sense to try and proceed any further. The next step is to protect yourself as best as you can when dealing with women. You will always have risks, but managing risks is the second best option. Besides going into monk mode, I would suggest being truthful and honest throughout your interaction with women and treating them respectfully. If you don't want anything serious, let them know up front. And don't just discard or dump the woman when you're done. I always say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So keep that in mind. You are less likely to catch a false alligator case. If you deal with women honestly and respectfully, the next best way to protect yourself is to pay for her, to leave, or pay directly for the sugary nectar. For example, when you are about to be fired from a job, you are given severance pay. The same can be said for dealing with women when you guys hook up. And when it's time to end the relationship, don't be stingy with money and believe you shouldn't give women anything that shows you end up paying on the back end when she falsely accuses you or says you owe her a severance package. It doesn't always mean money, but since all women love money, it's the most straightforward example I could give to find out what she would want in the relationship and give her things peacefully. If what she wants puts you at a significant disadvantage, like having a kid, then don't do it. Give her a fistful of 20s and move on with life. The last way to protect yourself is to keep a record of all your texts, voice notes, and if possible, sex tape that you made. You never know if and when a woman from the past or who you're currently dealing with might come out, seeking to bring you down in a court of law. So having evidence that everything was consensual will give you a leg to stand on once your word versus hers. You would have the evidence to prove that all of your bedroom fun and regular interactions were free of interactions. If you can't be there in person, if you think you're above all of this, you deserve everything you get. If she falsely accuses you, which do you prefer? That being said, you should be aware of the precautions you should take when dealing with modern women. This is not a foolproof strategy, but it will offer some protection. The ultimate protection is month mode. So unless you're planning on never entering another woman's body, the strategies I've listed are the next best thing. Let's look at the psychology of the modern woman. One thing you should know about street women is that they are attention seekers for the average modern woman. Attention as her currency is more important than food or to sleep, and even money at times. Women on the streets crave male attention and will go to any length to obtain it, including dressing in as little clothing as possible, conversing with, and being in the company of multiple. Posting pictures on social media to garner as many likes as possible and trapping as many thirsty sims as possible women for the streets. Their thirst for attention will know no bounds. It'll be a bottomless pit from which she will constantly crave male attention on a daily basis. And she will do anything and everything to have a viral moment on social media or to catch the eyes of as many guys as she can in public. A woman from the streets is usually in love with herself and only thinks about herself and her life. Her wants and needs come before everything and anyone else. She's the center of focus in which the world revolves around, and she's number one and will always be number one. She will drop everything she's doing to sleep and be with those types of men. The average guy is invisible to her. Selfishness is her middle name because she doesn't believe in compromising or putting other people before her. She comes into a man's life intending to egg from them, rather than add value or support the man. She enters a man's life to get her bag and run. She leaves poor and destitute in the process. This is the woman who is for the streets. The next trait of a woman for the streets is that she is defiant and entitled. She is self-destruction. A woman for the streets believes that no one should dare to tell her what to do, and she will follow her own path regardless of the negative consequences. She will never stop and listen to the people around her, trying to save her from herself. She will disobey everyone around her and continue down the path she believes she's entitled to. She walks in the spirit of Jebel and will do anything and everything to have her own, regardless of how it will affect others. Is rude, arrogant, loud, and feels entitled to whatever she desires. Speaking of entitlement, she believes that whatever her eyes and heart desire must be given to her without her having to work for it. If she believes you are beneath her, then you should be happy. Chevron gives you the time of day. An entitled woman from the streets could be as broke as a joke, but you must make 6 figures or more for her to give you the time of day. Another characteristic shared by street women is that they are transient well and are incapable of securing yours. She's incapable of committing to one man for the long term because she craves the attention, validation, and digging sticks of other men. She finds it attractive. She'll also use a man's life as a stepping stone to level up her lifestyle or to a bigger and better deal. Her hypergamy knows no bounds because she's constantly looking for a man who is better than the one she's currently with. She will still cheat on that man just to get more attention. She leads a hidden lifestyle and will go to any length to obtain pleasure and sexual gratification. This is the modern woman. The last trait of the modern woman who belongs to the streets is that she's deceitful, vindictive, and delusional. She will lie in the man's face to the point where she believes her lie. she will lie to get the best outcome for herself. Even if it means putting a man in prison or in trouble with the law. Putting a man in prison or in trouble with the law at his child's play for the modern 304, she will lie in the court of public opinion. She will lie in front of the judge and the jury to tarnish a man's reputation and take away resources. And she will lie in front of the police to take away the man's freedom and put him into submission. The modern delusion is immeasurable because she's been lied to by men in society to protect her feelings. She walks around unchecked and spews nothing but nonsense. Even if what she wants and what she can get don't match, she will continue down the path of least resistance and believe the comfortable lies. She tells herself if that isn't delusional, I'm not sure what is vindictive. But it's pretty self-explanatory that a woman on the street will stop at nothing to see a man's downfall. She will take revenge because she believes the man did her wrong in the vilest and most bitter way possible. She will stop at nothing to see you suffer. And on the verge of homelessness, if not 6 feet under, these are the psychological characteristics of a woman on the streets.